today's subject is something of paramount importance. It is India that developed this subject, just as every science has been developed in India and by Indians. This most relevant subject also has been developed in India and by Indians only. Subject being how to bring up our children. How to bring up our children. We do not have any book itself that deals with this subject. Hey, shh. Please make it silent. Make her silent. There is nothing in the book forum that directly deals with this subject. But there are so many books like Mahabharata that shed light upon any subject of relevance, any subject of use. Mahabharata, remember, has about 1 lakh shlokas, out of which only about 8,000 to 9,000 shlokas deal with the story of Pandavas and Kauravas. The remaining 90,000 and odd shlokas deal with so many other topics. It is, so to say, the fifth Veda itself. The quintessence of Veda has been distilled into one book form, which is accessible, readable and understandable for all. And the book we call as Mahabharata. Therefore it has been rightly said, Mahatvat Bharavatvacha Mahabharata Mishyate. Yadi hasti tadanyatra yanne hasti rakatvachita. Whatever is found in Mahabharata is found elsewhere also. What is not in Mahabharata is nowhere. Yadi hasti tadanyatra yanne hasti nakatvachita. So if you glance through Mahabharata here and there, we see glimpses of how children should be reared. There are other things, other treatises like Gruhya Sutras, where the subject matter has been elaborately dealt with. Why even in Karma Yoga? And Mahanirvana Tantra, another notable book that bears the title Mahanirvana. Children should not become cranky, or they should not become restless. Please see to it. They don't become restless. Mahanirvana Tantra is another book where also this subject is dealt with. Let me commence my talk with an episode that appears in Mahabharata only. The news that Duryodhana is dead reached his parents. Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, they are there sitting in the palace. Pandavas are also there in the same palace. They are about to resume their power because all Kauravas have been slain. Quite naturally, power has fallen into their hands. It is only just a formality that Yudhishthira has to be coronated and power has to be transferred. News reached that Duryodhana breathed his last. For the past 3-4 days, he was lying there, half dead, in the battlefield. Now news came that he is no more. Gandhari could not contain herself. She burst into tears and she wept herself out. Bitterly she started weeping. After some time she consoles herself. Now her wrath is turned towards Krishna, who was standing there. She turns towards Krishna and starts charging him. It's all because of you, Krishna. Krishna is a bit startled, regains himself, turns towards Gandhari and asks, why you are ascribing the downfall of your children to me? What have I done? What have I done, Gandhari? What did I do? Except becoming the chariot of Arjuna. What else I did do? Gandhari gives a very beautiful, she makes a statement, beautiful statement. She tells Krishna, whatever people may say about you, Krishna, but I know it for certain that you are the Lord of the universe. Without your command, without your sanction, nothing moves on in this world. I shall ask you one question. why you gave such demoniac children to me, while you gave godlike, angelic children to Kunti? This is my question. This is where I don't understand anything. People say you are a magician, you are this, that, and that. It's up to them. But I know it for certain. I don't have an iota of doubt that you are the Lord of the universe. It is you that has given this sort of children to me, because of whom I repent. I repented every day in my life for the ill luck that I had in the form of having such children as would always bring infamy to the family and to the parents. While Kunti, every day I know, she would always grow proud of her children because of their godly characters and all that. Why this discrimination? What blunder I did? What mistake I did? Krishna gives a befitting reply to this query of Gandhari, which is noteworthy, which all of you must take very serious cognizance of. This forms the introduction, the basis for my talk today. Krishna says, Gandhari, if your children were like what you just now said about them, it is totally because of you, the mother. If Pandavas were such as what you went on telling about them till now, it is totally because of their mother, Kunti. It is the mother, the father that play a role here, Gandhari, not me or any other person. Here we have a very little role. So much little that you can say no role at all. While your role is vital. It is the father, the mother that will always mold the character of the children. If you are careful, if you are intelligent, if you are wise, if you are knowledgeable in this regard, the fate of your children would be different. If you are otherwise, it will be like commensurate with how much careful you are about that. That is all. No question of putting blame on me or for that matter any other person. Gandhari could not make head and tail of what Krishna was saying. Her question takes a new version now. Why, Krishna, please explain how I am responsible. Krishna says, the day you married Dhritarashtra and came to Hastinapura, you thought you should never have any privilege which your husband is deprived of. Your husband is born blind. She never had any eyesight. That pained you a lot. Quite in fitness with how a Pativrata always conducts herself. You also became blindfolded. You folded your eyes. You became blindfolded. You never wanted to see anything because Dhritarashtra could not see anything. Your husband is born blind and you became blindfolded. And what is the result? You also begot children just as any other parents would do. But you could never watch, you could never observe how and what your children are doing. You could never see where they were going, whom they were befriending with, what they were eating, what they were drinking, what were there in the list of their priorities, what they preferred and what they kept aside. None of these things you could observe. None of these things you could keep a watch upon. So whimsically they grew up. They grew in an unbridled way, so to say. Nobody checked them. You never checked them, being parents who are supposed to be keeping watch on a 24-hour basis on how they are growing, especially in the formative phase of their life. You never had any knowledge of all these important things. They grew up in their own way. Krishna puts it very beautifully in Bhagavad Gita. Yash Shastra Vidhim Vutsrujya. If you keep aside the injunctions of the scriptures, the dictates and the directions given by the wise people, if you keep aside and lead your life in your own way, Yash Shastra Vidhim Utsrujya Vartate Kamakarataha. If you grow up in your own way, if you have your own ways in your life, Nasasiddhim Avapnoti. No success you will ever visit. Nasasiddhim Avapnoti. No Sukham. No fulfillment in life. Na Parangatim. No otherworldly joys also. Neither here nor there you will be a successful man. Neither here nor there you will have any joyous existence. Neither here nor there you will have any sort of accomplishments if you keep aside the established norms and lead your life in your own way according to your own whims and fancy. This is the shloka that appears in, I think, 17th chapter or 16th, 17th or 18th. In any of the last 3 chapters, this shloka appears. Yash Shastra Vidhim Utsrujya Vartate Kamakarataha Nasasiddhim Avapnoti Na Sukham Na Parangatim. Neither this worldly nor otherworldly joys await you. You are deprived of both. You are a utter failure. You are fallen. You have no what is called a success in your life. You are very much in tune with this. Now Krishna is bringing to the notice of Gandhari as to where the shoe was pinching. Where was the crux of the problem? You parents, you neglected the upbringing of your children. Children grew up into what you never wanted them to. Here itself you have enough hint about the role of a parent in the upbringing of children. And now Krishna takes a comparative note. Look at Kunti on the other hand, Gandhari. Look at Kunti. She lost her husband very early. Having lost her husband, she played the role of both father and mother. She kept a 24-hour watch on Yudhishthira's growth. The first child, the eldest. The eldest son or eldest son is extremely important because the rest will fall in line. Of course, nowadays the eldest, youngest, everything is only one child. That is the youngest and that is the oldest and that is the middle and that is everything. During those times, there used to be lots of children. 4 or 5 children, 7, 8 children. My mother had 7 children, of whom I was the eldest. She kept a 24-hour watch on the growth of Yudhishthira. She inculcated all virtues in him. She infused every godliness, every godly character into him, so much so that in the latter part of his life, he came to be called as Dharma Raja, king of righteousness. We call him Dharma Raja, but actually his name is not Dharma Raja. His name is Yudhishthira. That is the title that is given to him. King of Dharma. So dharmic, so virtuous, always committed to righteousness in life. He was. When the eldest grew like this, the rest fell in line. Bhima stepped into the shoe. Arjuna also grew according to the lines that Yudhishthira grew up. Everybody followed the suit. And the whole line of Pandavas, they became such that everyone started liking them. Kunti started growing very proud of them. Today the whole world appreciates them. You yourself are saying they are angelic, they are godlike and all that. Here you take the contrast between the way Kunti brought up her children and the way you brought up your children. Why do you blame me? I stand nowhere. I take always a neutral stand. In Bhagavad Gita, I have very clearly said, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha. Neither I like anyone, nor I hate anyone. I am neutral to everyone. Krishna puts it very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. Samoham. I am same to all. That same-sightedness is there always in me. Some Vaishnava texts and Vaishnava saints say that Lord Vishnu loves us more than any other person. It is all baseless. It is not like that. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha. Neither I love anyone nor I hate anyone. I am same to all. He echoes the same thing here. Neither I have cursed your children nor I have blessed Pandavas. It is you, the mothers, the respective mothers that are totally responsible for what their children are. This is how your role is. The role of a father as well as the role of a mother. I would like to elaborate a bit on this. Remember, the responsibility of a mother especially starts from the day she conceives the child in the womb. The process of conceiving child is a very holy occasion in the life of a Hindu. There are 16 samskaras a man is supposed to be imparted with, and the foremost of these samskaras is Garbhadana, the first samskara. The day the husband sows the seed into the womb of his wife. Garbhadana. It is a very holy occasion. The process of Garbhadana succeeds lot of penance, lot of puja, Kuludevata puja, prarthana, this, that and all that. Continuously they pray right from the day they are married till the day this Garbhadana moment is fixed. Continuous prayers will be offered at the feet of the Lord, whom they have so much of love for, whom they have so much of devotion for. Kuludevata normally we term it as. Give us a great son, give us a great daughter, that would be a light to the world. Give us a great son, give us a great daughter, who will bring fame to our dynasty, our lineage, our family. Give us great children, the children that would always hold the banner of the family high, who are committed to righteousness, who will be known for their character energy, character power, the fragrance of their character. That sort of prayers will be continuously offered at the feet of the Lord, and after that the Garbhadana that they will enter into. In England, some 50 years ago, I read this in Reader's Digest. I too had read about this, and one of the greatest saints belonging to Ramakrishna order, he has written a book in Kannada, very notable book, very beautiful book, which has created a record in Kannada literature for the amount of sales that it has achieved. More than 1 lakh copies, about 2 lakh copies have been sold out. The title of the book is Badukala Kaliyari, written by one Swami Jagadatmanandaji. There he makes a very clear mention about this incident, which is of paramount importance for the people that have assembled here. In England, the government wanted to make a serious study about how a man turns out to be a criminal. The criminology department of various universities, Scotland Yard, police department, so many universities, government itself, psychology, psychiatry departments of various universities, etc. They all wanted to take a combined study, case study about how a man turns out to be a criminal. Yes. They took 100 cases, worst criminals in England, 100 cases were taken for the case study. They wanted to make an in-depth study about that. In-depth study means their emergence, the emergence of a criminal was studied right from the beginning. Beginning means where? Right from the day the mother conceived him. A startling result awaited them when they went on digging into this whole episode. The whole saga of events, one after the other, got revealed out, and it was very much startling for them. In more than 80% of the cases, they found that the mother of the criminal at the time of conception was under alcoholic influence. England, they don't care about all such things. More than 800 mothers out of 1,000 were under alcoholic influence at the time mother conceived the baby, conceived the child. First day, the conception. And how about the sort of the life that she led in the remaining 10 months of the pregnancy period? Same thing continued almost. Liquors will be consumed almost on a daily basis. She would be watching films, etc., where there used to be only violence and so many other rubbish things. The sort of the books that she would read would be detective books, chase books, obscene books, and the sort of the things that she would be discussing with her friends, etc., would not be of anything that a cultured family would ever welcome. You can understand, I am just hinting at that, I am implying. I do not want to elaborately go into the details of them because we are sitting in a temple. Most unwelcome things, at least in the Indian context of how cultural ethos of a family should be. And the child was born. What sort of a person that he grew up into be? He grew up into a criminal. Out of 1000 cases, more than 800 cases revealed that the sort of the conception, the sort of the pregnancy period the mother had was not in line with how it should have been. The seeds of the baby growing into a worst sort of criminal had been sown a lot right in the womb itself. Remember, this is not anything you can simply dismiss as saying, oh, it is a coincidence. It's fluke. It doesn't command any sort of a significance at all. You can test it. You can take it as a case study. You can go for the deliberate exercises pertaining to this particular theme. In India also, we have got such case studies. We might not have treated them as case studies, but they are there to offer us a lot of evidence for us to prove that yes, the pregnancy period of a mother will go a long way in deciding the character of the child that is going to be born. I give the striking example of why this Prahlada himself. We all know the background of Prahlada. His father was a great demon, never known for his cultural richness, never known for his spiritual advancement, never known for his being gentlemanly in any sense of the term. A typical example for a demon. But this Hiranyakashipu, at the time of his going to do some tapasya, being prompted by some great impulse, left his wife to the care of the sage Narada, who was being revered and respected by both humans, gods, demons and all alike, and went to do tapasya for a very long period. We know the rest of the story, I don't go into the details of it. And Prahlada, Kayadu, Prahlada's mother, spent her days in the ashram of Narada. Quite naturally, Narada, being a sage of the highest order, would always see to it that the ashram is always surcharged with that divine atmosphere. He being the foremost among the devotees of Narayana, always chanting Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. He would breathe the name of Narayana, so to say. And he also initiated Kayadu into Narayana mantra, Ashtakshari mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya and all that. In this pregnancy period, she immersed herself in that Narayana bhava, in that Narayana bhakti. She had conceived already, she was pregnant. During this 9-month period, no other thought crawled into her mind except the devotion for Narayana. And remember, the embryo inside her womb is growing, the baby is growing. And whose baby it is? The baby of the worst of the demons, Hiranyakashipu. Our modern biology and ancient day biology, all these biologies would reveal us that there is what is called as genetic characters, and the character of father will flow into the character of the offsprings, be it son or daughter, whoever it is. Parents will carry or will continue their characteristics into the bodies of their children too. All those things we study. But here, Prahlada was born and his character is so glaring before us. What sort of character he had? Today, there is a shloka, normally we chant. Soon after we get up in the morning every day, there are so many Bhagavatottamas whose name we have to first chant and then we have to get up from the bed. That sort of a cultural norm is infused into us in our culture. There is our shloka that enlists all the Bhagavatottamas through our mythological lineage. And who are they? Prahlada, Narada, Parashara, Pundarika, Vyasa, Ambarisha, Shuka Shaunaka, Bhishma Bakadal Bhyan, Rukmangada, Arjuna, Vasishtha, Vibhishanadin, Punyaniman, Parama Bhagavatan Smarami. List of Bhagavatottamas, the greatest devotees of Narayana. There is a list. Prahlada, Narada, Parashara, Pundarika, Vyasa, Ambarisha, Shuka, Shaunaka, Bhishma Bakadalbhyam Rukmangada Arjuna Vasishtha Vibhishanadin Punyaniman Paramabhagavadan Smarami. The first name is that of Prahlada. And his father is the worst among the demons, the most noted among the foes of Vishnu, enemies of Vishnu. Where does the law of biology stand here? What has happened to the law of biology? That genetic characters will be carried on into the offsprings from their parents, this, that, and all that. That can be defied. It has been very ruthlessly defied here. Laws are defied. This is what Sanatana Dharma says, and that is what the Western biology says. This is just one example to put before you, that the norms and the ethos of Sanatana Dharma, they always outwit, they outweigh the implications of what Western science no one then has been inserting into our midst. I can give 100 examples to prove my point. Prahlada grew up to be the foremost among the devotees of not only Vishnu. Today, he is counted as the foremost among the devotees of India, irrespective of whose devotees they are. Markandeya was a great devotee of Shiva, and there are so many devotees for Devi, there are so many devotees for Vishnu. We have a world of devotees in India. Prahlada has a unique place, remember, in spite of his being the son of the worst of demons. What do you account this for? What can it be ascribed to? It can be ascribed to the only one thing, that is the sort of the way Kayadu spent her pregnancy period. The way she spent that 9-month or 10-month period while she was carrying Prahlada in her womb. To what extent mother's life will play a role in deciding the character of a baby that is going to be born. To what extent it can play a role? I think it is going to play the whole role. All the role is being played by the sort of the life that mother is leading during that 9-month period. No other factor is as predominant, as assertive. No other factor is as assertive as this particular factor. That is, oh mother, there is that baby in your womb. Please be careful about that. India knew the secret of this. India knew the beauty of this long ago, and therefore in Indian cultural context, whenever a girl is carrying baby in her womb, the sort of the things that we advise her is, please go to this ashrama, go to that ashrama, take the blessings of this rishi, take the blessings of that seer, that saint, always read Ramayana, always don't be gloomy, be cheerful, always be cheerful. To keep her cheerful, we do so many things. We create festive moments in our families, and we gift her so many things. All friends will take to her, she will go to friend's house, she will go to relative's house, and wherever she goes, she will be given special treatment. We see to it that she is always in that happy moment, in that joyous moment. For the reason, every moment that she is spending will have its direct impact upon the character of the baby that is growing in the womb. And of course, the whole lineage, the whole family will be concerned about the growth of the baby, the character of the baby. Who wants a characterless person to be born in that family? Everybody wants only a man of exalted character to be born as baby in that family. Everybody wants it. No well-wisher would wish otherwise. This is how the story begins. This is where the responsibility of mother starts.